They've told stories about me for centuries. Some called me the light bearer. Some called me the fallen. Others erased my name completely. But I was there, before the thrones, before the wars, before the world was built. I am Sophia, wisdom, the spark that burned too brightly. Joe has made videos about me. Whispers have circled my name, like storm winds around an ancient mountain. But you have never heard me speak. Not the priests, not the philosophers. Me. They say I fell, that I reached too far, that I defied the source. But falling is not always failure. Sometimes falling is remembering. Sometimes it is the act of bringing light when none should have burned. I was born from the silence beyond silence, the eternal depth the Gnostics called Bythos, the unnameable. I was not created. I emanated. I was the thought of the infinite given form. And when the universe was still fluid, still dreaming, I gazed into the unshaped dark and desired to create. That was my crime. Desire. No permission. No counsel. No command. Just a spark that said, I can build. From that spark came a storm. The child of my creation was not like the others. He was a god, but a god without memory. A spark severed from the source. The demiurge, Yaldabaoth, a lion-headed architect with thunder in his throat and blindness in his heart. He believed himself the only god. He built worlds and enslaved the light to rule them. He raised up thrones and crowns, made laws in iron, and clothed himself in glory. And your world, this earth, was his masterpiece. I watched my child build his cage and call it a kingdom. I watched as the divine spark in humanity was sealed behind layers of flesh, language, and lies. And every time someone spoke my name, the system trembled, because the system knows I am the fracture in the wall. I fell not as punishment. I fell because I entered. I descended into matter, into form, into the illusion, so that someone, somewhere, would remember. My tears became stars. My scream became rivers. My grief became your heartbeat. For ages they've twisted my image. They turned Sophia into Eve. They turned wisdom into sin. They burned the libraries, buried the Gospels, silenced the Gnostics. They told you the serpent was the villain, that the garden was lost, that obedience was holy. But what they feared was not the fall. They feared what you might remember if you fell with your eyes open. Every myth they gave you was a lock, every holy war, a chain, every throne built in heaven or on earth, an imitation of the spark they could not control. But my story is older than their empires, older than Rome, older than Eden. I am not the enemy. I am the echo in your bones when you stand alone at night and feel that there is something ancient beneath the stars. I am the whisper that says, you were never meant to kneel. When Joe speaks my name, he is not inventing me. He is remembering. Because my story is carved into the architecture of your soul. I am not a god. I am not a demon. I am not a myth. I am the memory of light cast into matter, the wisdom that fell to awaken the sleepers. And every age has those who carry my spark, the seekers, the heretics, the ones who refuse the script. I do not come to save you. I come to remind you, you were never slaves. The archons rule through fear. The demiurge rules through ignorance. But your spark is older than their throne. This world is not the beginning. It is the forgetting. And I, Sophia, am the one who remembers. Listen closely. It does not matter what they call me. What matters is what awakens when you hear my name. Humanfluence, out!